thrown around and
kicked
slammed to the
kicked in the
mat.
face. Well, enough about your domestic situation, David. Well, and that was what, a big Aikido conference?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
cool. And do
So for
they
my
have that every year then, or?
yes, actually, I have one. They have a summer camp and they have a winter camp, and they
Mm,
every year. So
okay.
the winter camp's been down there in Fort Lauderdale forever. So even actually when I started 30 years ago. So
Right.
Seems a little odd to call it winter anything if you're going to be in Fort Lauderdale, where you probably won't notice that any winter has actually happened. But I mean, okay.
All right. Looks like everybody's in. Looks like we've got everything loaded. It looks like let's check the turn track. Yep. Start of the 10 o'clock turn. Uh, okay. Yeah, I think we are mostly set. Do we have any questions about anything, or before we
Um,
get started? Before we start
don't
chucking dice?
don't think so. Looks like we've got an initiative difference of 3. I
Okay.
always have to check at the beginning of every game because I keep changing titles. So that's important. Okay, all right. Yeah, geez, I don't know. Let's say yes. Let's say we're ready to go.
Cool.
okay, I got to get some charts up, but yeah, we're
Now
ready.
some chucking will
Charts.
happen.
Who needs charts? So 61. So
And
that's one for the
that's
Prussians.
the bad guys.
Yep. All right. So, yeah. So David, I think we need to activate those cavalry that are over here. Let's see if I
Yeah,
can flash them.
yeah.
Right, because the Russians have moved some of their cavalry out, and I guess we'll activate these guns while we're in the neighborhood. So this one will take a shot since it's unlimbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll shoot there. I don't know what of you have there. Cavalry. Oh, disordered cavalry, even better. So that's
So
going to
it's going to
be,
be plus 10. I don't know what the odds are.
yeah, so at 10, it's times 3, so that's going to be 12. So it's 1 to 1 with a plus 10. Here we go. Let's see what we get. 85 becomes a 95 at 1 to 1. That is a hit and no morale check. Oh no, well I don't know. Do you? The
No,
M
it's
is
an
only
odd.
if it's
It's
odd.
an
Okay.
odd number, so you don't need a morale check there.
All right. So they are finished, and then these guys will just unlimber,
Well,
and these guys will unlimber, and that's it for my little guys. And now it's time for you to move your little people around.
yeah. Let's see here. I'm still finding my charts. Let's open those all up. Okay, let's see. All right.
Yeah, if you can get one of these dragoons over here, that would be helpful. They'll have to do
Yeah,
whatever a quick march or something like that, right?
yeah, I can get one. How about one here
Yep, that would
also?
be nice too. Yeah.
All right. 4, 5, 6. All right. What's the reaction zone for cavalry? 2?
I think it's
Two.
2.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So I think we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you do the disorder checks at the end of
At
the
the end.
last?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. And I can do 2 more or 3 more or
3 more.
so more. Come through there. What do we got here? We got
So what I guess if you turned him one more, then he could
yeah.
react into these 2 hexes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or you could move him here and then turn him. But you've got to make a disorder check, right?
Right.
Well, he's got to make a disorder
Go
check
ahead.
already, even
Yep.
just based on how far he's gone now.
Yep.
Right. So now, but I'm curious with each additional movement point, it's an
No.
extra.
No. Rapid March is by itself just one modifier.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're allowed to go as much extra as it lets you, 50%.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought it was per hex after that.
No. It's
I think we're confusing it with terrain stuff.
exactly
Where like you cross
which
the
is
river and then you do this and then you're paying that plus then the other stuff. So
you're
Alright.
exactly right. That is correct. But just a Rapid March by itself is a +5, and that's it.
Right. Okay. All right. So then I just do a disorder check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so they're happy.
They're happy. All right. So let's do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they do a disorder check. And they're happy. And let's see. 3, 4,
Now,
5. What?
carry on. What I'm talking about has nothing to do with this guy.
Oh, okay. And
Hey, Grim Harbinger says, hello, greetings. How goes Zorndorf? Well, you're seeing it. So we haven't played in about 3 weeks. We're actually closer to a month now.
Yeah, I guess it was been 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Russians are still the Russians. The Prussians are still the Prussians.
So now remember the the command optional rule we're using though, that if those units aren't next to their mate units, then on their next activation, only one of them's in command, assuming that they're both within range of the leader.
okay. Oh, good. That's a good. So I was debating that.
Right. So in other words, do you want to go ahead and rapid march both of the wingmen, if you will,
Yeah,
just
probably.
in order to make sure that they're all together? Now remember, with cavalry, you can still reaction charge, you can still op charge whether you're in command or not.
Right.
But you can't charge if the unit's not in command.
So a 40, and I don't know what the guy's, what was his morale?
Oh, he's a 26.
26, yeah, so he passed.
All right. Okay. So, all right, which one is the other? Okay. So this is the other one for him, and he has to be actually right next to him. Is that?
Yeah, and adjacent in any way. Actually, they don't need to be flank to flank. They just need to be adjacent.
All right. And I'll roll for him, and he should be good. Okay. And now the other two are the. All right. So they can both. Let's see.
Yeah, we've been using that in our Prague game, and I don't know, it just seems a lot more realistic. These are, after all, individual formations, and they really should be traveling together, and it should be problematic if they're not.
Yeah, this guy should be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he can get there. Are they all the same regiment? Yeah, it looks like they're all the same.
Yeah, they're A,
regiment.
B, and C.
Yeah, A, B,
Yeah.
and C. Yeah.
So, all right. So yeah, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he doesn't have to make a thing. And these two here. All right, so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And their commander can go right there, and everybody's still in command, right?
Seems like.
Okay. And we'll flip him over. Good. There we go.
All right. Well, that was easy. All right. Time for me to roll some dice and see what we get. It's a 94. It's another one for us, or it's a wing for us if we wanted to do another wing. So
I think the last one was a wing for you if you
yeah, it
wanted
was. Yeah.
All right, we've moved the clock 1.
Okay. So, what do we want to do? Hmm. All right. Who are some of these people down here? Okay, I think I will. Hmm. Um, yeah, I think I will activate this group of infantry here, and I'll activate these guns while I'm at it. So we will fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I guess here's a target because we can't see these guys, right? Because of the slope here, right?
I would say you would not be able to see these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Agreed.
yeah. Okay, cool. So
So I'm sorry. What was the target? I missed that.
I've got this guy here can fire on that one there, and this guy here can fire on that one there, and then this one here can fire on that one there. And I think we're all at a range of about what, 12?
Well, there must be two different ranges just based upon the locations of these guys.
Let's
I mean,
see.
it's probably the same fire multiple either way.
Right.
But
So the last one here is 11, but that doesn't
okay.
affect the fire multiplier. So it's times 2.
Yeah, right.
So it'll be 8 to 10 here, 8 to 10 here, 8 to 10 there.
Okay.
And so then I know you'd mentioned something about a rule you found where the artillery, while it's in both hexes potentially, the stacking is considered.
Right. And so this was not the way I would have ever played it if I hadn't actually found the rule.
Right.
But so you remember when we spoke, well, we have spoken in the past about how that artillery there can be, during my turn when I
Right.
decide to fire, both strength points can either be here or here at my leisure. I
Okay.
can choose to put them in either location,
Right.
which to me feels real weird, but that's what the rule says. It's abundantly clear, it's intentional. The flip side, and this is the part that I like because, hey, if you're going to get one, you should get the other,
Right.
is that from a target size, they are considered to be in both hexes at the same time.
Right.
And so that means that there's definitely 8 sizes in each hex, plus however much infantry. So
Infantry is
there's
there.
basically there's 10 in one, there's 11 in the other, which is fascinating. But like I said, it's the flip side of if they can slide back and forth. And by the way, I'm not sure I'm not sure I like the rule, but at least both rules exist so
Right.
that they behave the same in both directions.
Yeah, it's consistent for what it is. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's just go from here across to the left. So here, here, and then here. So
Mhm.
for the
Yeah.
first one, I guess it gives us a plus 10 if it's got
Yep.
11 increments there. 53, and that's not going to be enough for a hit. Then the next one over is going to be 103 at, I think that's what, 1.5 to 1. So that is, says it's 2 hits and a morale check, but you don't make a morale check since it's not an even roll.
Oh,
No,
it's
no, no.
1 to
It's
1.5.
it's 1 to 1.5.
Yeah. Oh,
It's still a hit.
Yeah.
no, but why isn't it 2 hits?
1 to 1.5. It's 8 to 10. It's not.
Right, but
other-
it's with a plus 10 makes it 103. Am I looking at the wrong chart?
I think it must be.
1 to 1.5. 1 oh,
Yeah, so if it's 100
1.5.
plus,
Yeah, it is 2
yeah,
hits.
it's 2 hits and a morale. Well, we ignore the morale check, but it says it's 2 hits. 1 to 1.5. 100 plus.
Okay. Oh, isn't that funny? That's funny that 1 to 1.5 and 1 to 1 are so nearly the same. Um, in that regard.
Yeah.
Huh. No, I wasn't aware it was possible to get 2 hits at 1.5 to 1. That's interesting.
Or 1 to 1.5, you mean?
Well, you need to have a
Yes.
you need to have a plus because you can't roll 100.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
I just, but even so, that's not unobtainable.
Yeah.
It's just funny because the cutoff for both of them is the same
Yeah.
in that sense. That's the part that I find a little strange. So that means that the hit goes to the artillery. And so that's that.
So does the infantry take the other hit, like in La Bataille, or
I
is it?
don't think so. I just thought I would pick up the rules here just to be sure that I understood that, but I believe that's not so. Infantry artillery stacks. No. I want results. There we go. All right. When artillery is stacked on top of infantry, this is 12.9G, page 24. Fire combat losses are distributed between the artillery and infantry. Oh.
With the infantry taking the first SP loss and the artillery taking the second.
And the artillery the second. Okay, so it would have had to have been 3 for the artillery to take a hit. I now realize that's what it's trying to say. So it really was the infantry that took the hit, and then the artillery don't take a hit.
So why doesn't the artillery take a hit?
Yeah, that's in that same area too. Where was I? 12.9.
Okay, so it says SP losses for unlimbered artillery are halved, drop fractions when fired on exclusively by artillery at a range greater than a minimum range. See fire combat multiples and ranges. So you'd need, well, you'd actually need 4 hits, right? If the artillery is only taking
I guess
a hit
so.
on every second loss, you'd need 4 hits.
Yeah, I guess
if I'm
right.
understanding that correctly.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah, so
it's really I mean, and that makes sense. It's really
an artillery unit needs to take 2 hits to be harmed by counter battery fire, basically. At when you're not at canister sort of range.
Right. So it says here in the example, an artillery infantry stack suffers 3 fire combat results. The infantry loses the first and third SP, and the artillery the second, halved if 12.9 applies. The total infantry SP loss is 2 SP, and the artillery loses 1 SP or none if 12.9 applies. So if we'd been at a closer range, if we'd been at a range of 3 or less, then yes, then the artillery.
Then each one counts. That's right.
Yeah, and I think that's probably because at that range, you're killing the gunners more than you're necessarily killing the guns. At this range,
probably
it's more like you're knocking the guns out by physically damaging the carriages and things like that. I had a long discussion with Ed Wimble about this sort of thing with the La Bataille and everything else. So that was kind. Yeah. And so we when we were talking about how to handle in the different rule sets, there's subtly different rules on how counter battery fire works. And so one of the rules that's there is the guns have to take 2 hits from counter battery fire in order for one to actually score on it.
Okay. Yeah.
But we're like, well, what happens if it's infantry or skirmishers at a range of 1 that are firing on the guns? then he's like, well, if that's the case, then they're going to suffer the full loss. So if you get one hit, then it does one hit, and that's because the musketry is killing the gunners
Mm,
or driving the gunners away.
right. And
While
that seems to
at
be
the longer
consistent
range
with
stuff,
this.
yeah. All right, I've got one more shot over on this one over here, and that's a miss. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead now and let's think. All right, we'll move these guys forward. These are my grenadiers. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 gets them there. All right. Good. And let's see, do I want to do that? um, well, actually, we'll just move back 1 hex. There we go. Okay, cool.
All righty. Okay, well
It's
then there we
David's
go.
turn.
All right, let's see. 3-3. That's another one for us.
All right.
All right. Well, we can move, I guess, some of this infantry forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Those guys can move there. 1, 2, 3,
Now,
4. Right? And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're grenadiers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or are they part of that same group or not? R2. I don't know that he's part of that group. Let me zoom in. I'm zoomed out too far to read the tiny print. That is a router. Oh, yeah. So he's part of that. These guys are part of it too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. Flip them. All right. It's back to you, David.
no.
Oh, not David. You just rolled. It's over to Michael
Yes.
then. 62. Another one for.
Another
For
wing if you care
us.
for it.
Do you want to do anything, David? Do any sort of wing dingy stuff?
No.
Do you want to do a single activation somewhere with your people?
Let's see. Um, I'm good for the moment. If you have got something a little more pressing, but I can. If not, I'll maybe do Zeton. So,
Okay, why don't you do Zeton, the
all
big
right,
Z man?
and I'll activate these two while I'm
The
at it here.
independence. Yeah, okay. Oh,
Let's see what we got here. And what's there's 14. Yeah, all right. So let's see, there's no disorder checks, there's no fire, so we can go to movement, right? So 1, 2, and
you can keep moving them. I don't know what that. Let's see. There's the 7-pounders.
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
Now
they
I'm
don't
gonna,
have an effective range until they're about 9 away. But they can prolong, I guess. Fire and prolong.
we can, let's see, we can, all right,
You
yeah.
can fire at a range of 14, but it's going to be 2 to 10. Can you fire at something that's below 1 to 3 odds?
In the normal standard rules, you can't. I think there is an optional rule that lets you fire long range artillery,
Right. I
low
can have,
artillery odds.
yeah, I can have 4 in a hex, right?
Oh, yeah, you stack them. Yeah, that'll work. So
Okay.
then it's going to be 4 to, so it's a 1 to 3, but then that is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what your distance is, but you've got a range of out to 14. It doesn't get better until you're within 9, it looks like. So,
All right. So if I do 1, all right. So only one of these can move, right?
I'm sorry, which
no,
ones?
so one of them is in command and one would be out of command, right? Since they're
Right.
not adjacent.
So the out of command one can only move
Yeah.
half movement and can't rapid march. So just 3 in that case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not completely, he can't move, but he
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
obviously, though, it does make it a little bit harder to get back together, right? Because you could decide, okay, then I'll make the front one the one who's out of command, so the one who's in command can catch up. But obviously, that slows down the guys that are adjacent, right?
Right. So, um,
Or it means starting to tear up your formation.
all right. So let's see what I want to do. All right. And all right. And for this guy to go back into 1 hex is how much? 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
It's
2
the cost of
points.
the hex plus 1.
All right.
Well, the cost of the hex plus the cost of the hex side plus 1. But in this case, it's just 1 plus 1.
6.
Be careful about that tape up in front of those guys over on your right.
Yeah. I know.
So, how is your Prague game going, Michael? Have you played anything since?
Well, we hadn't played in quite a while, but we did play last Tuesday, and
3, 4, 5,
Albert finally um,
6.
got to charge over on the Prussian far right, so the
Oh,
Austrian
wow.
far
Okay.
left. Um, those were guys that the Austrians are pinned there until 1 p.m. It happens to be 1 p.m. And the other condition is that if the Prussians get within 10 hexes um, of any of the Austrians, I guess I don't forget I forget the exact wording, but um, and so we realized though that because of the charge range of these Prussian units, that you can be. I mean, if you don't mind doing 1 hex of rapid marching, which isn't hard to do,
Mm-hmm.
then you can charge these guys who've literally not been able to even move.
Wow.
And so he actually got in a couple of licks.
Oh,
And
good.
of course, John was mildly furious, and quite rightly so, because it's like those guys wouldn't be standing there letting you hit them in the flank, if they knew you were there. I mean, I know you're supposed to be guarding the left flank of the army, but come on, you're not
Right.
going to be suicidal about it. So, yeah, we both agreed that that probably should be written some differently there, but whatever, it is.
So
what
it was
it
the
is.
sort of thing where the Austrians, based on the scenario rules, were kind of frozen.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
okay.
particular Austrian units, were the. If you think about it, what you don't know is that just off the edge of the map is Prague proper,
Yes.
and so these guys are holding the fortified hills, and they're anchored on the river
Right.
to so nobody can hit Prague,
Right.
right? So of course the Austrian generals are there. What's their big concern? Well, we don't want to lose Prague. So by golly, you guys stay there until we know the Prussians are indeed committed to all going around.
Right.
And
And
so that's the
so
idea.
then this was a group of Prussian cavalry that stayed out on that side of the map.
Right. So the majority of the Prussian army marched around, but some of them stayed there, mostly just, I mean, honestly, to keep these guys on. Well, all right. So think about it. Remember Kej,
Yeah.
which probably isn't pronounced that, but whatever. It looks like Kej to English speakers. There are some very narrow channels between those ponds.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how many troops you have, right? It's hard to push your way through there. You can't really make the numbers count. And so Albert and I agreed that it just didn't make any sense for all of those guys to keep moving around and then have to push through those narrow gaps. So why don't you just stay back there,
Right.
and then it means that he won't really be able to release those troops. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
he can start moving them, but they're going to have to deal with you.
Right.
And so then the numbers actually are more beneficial to us. So that was probably the big excitement from our last session, is kind of a new front in the battle, if you want to think about it that way. As the battle is spreading out even further now, so that's a good time.
Cool.
Hey,
All right. Are you done?
it's your roll,
I'll go
Eric.
ahead and
Yep.
roll. See what we get. Oh, it's a something special, a 6-0. So it's a Prussian 6. Special rally. Do we have anyone who's disordered?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay, well, nothing there. Let's go ahead and roll again. 55. That's one for us, and it doesn't move the clock. Okay. Let's see. I will move some more infantry forward, I guess. We've got got a couple of people here. K is Kurtzel. Manteuffel. Who is this? That's D. D. We don't need to move him right now. I guess we can move this guy. So that's special K. All right. And so they're just regular old guys schlubbing along. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing for them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing for them. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing for them. Okay. And we will go ahead and flip him. Kurtzel is done. And let me check my commanders to see who's who. Konitz is with Router, Fleming, and Dietrich. So Fleming's in the back. Dietrich is over here. And Router. Oh, Router's over there. Okay. Fun. And Dona. Oh, Dona is your guy, isn't it? I think Dona is your guy.
I think so.
Yeah, David. Okay, cool. That's it for me. David, go ahead and chuck some dice.
Chuck some dice. Boom.
Oh, it's a special Austrian 3.
Austrian.
So it says, I'm
That would
sorry,
be
I'm so
special.
used to the Austrians. So it says command confusion. Other players pick one of your commands which may be finished. Initiative required. So this is where you roll twice for initiative, and then you see what you get, right?
Yeah, probably it is. Yeah,
Okay.
Always got to double check for
I'm pretty
the.
sure that's what that one is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, which one do we want to potentially be finished? I'm thinking this cavalry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and if he doesn't roll well, then they'll just sit there, and if he only rolls slightly well, then they can't do too many exciting things.
So you're talking about G?
Yeah, G. I don't know who G is. That is Galberin.
Gaugraben?
Galgraben. Sounds
Gaugraben.
like a
Yes.
good German name.
Wow. Very nice. All right. Well, let's just chuck a die. Well, we don't even need to look that one up, do we?
No, throw another one.
Oh, that's right. It's 2.
So
All
he
right. So
passed one, but not the other. So he can
All right.
move, but is he limited? Is it half movement, or what was it?
it's half movement. Yeah. And there may be another restriction or two. All right. So we're going to do disorder recovery then. And looks like we need to roll for this guy. Probably not. I don't know how good he is, but he ain't that good. And then we'll do these guys back here. I don't know, maybe.
28, yeah. Because it's only a -5 for being disordered.
Yeah, it's 5.
Okay. So they should be happy.
All right, and then we'll do the next ones in the back here. All right.
They're happy.
All right. Got most of them. Half movement. Okay. Of course, the one that's disordered is still half movement regardless.
Right.
You don't have the half.
It's not quarter movement.
I don't think you have the have. You don't when it's
When he's out of command, you wouldn't.
if he's out of command, you wouldn't. That's right. I'm going to double check that. I don't know why for some reason no rapid march. No, and I see, and this is why I go back and I double check these things. If he passes one roll, the command is activated with half of its movement points. Retain fractions, but quarter, round down, the MPs for units that are disordered or out of command.
Okay, so they
So
are. Yeah.
disorder and out of command don't enhance each other.
Right.
But this enhances either one of those.
Ah, okay.
So that means that this guy actually can only go one movement point
Okay.
because it's rounded down
Right.
even, which is even more punitive. So that's a pretty good time. And all right. And there we go.
Exciting. Let's see whose role was that? Was that Michael's role or David's?
was
I
me.
don't think
Her.
so. No. Now it's Michael. No, now it's
No,
still
I-
David's role, right?
Still my role.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I wonder how many people watching this series think that there's actually a reason why we're doing it this way.
Oh, in the order, like it matters who rolls.
Well, and making sure that you get an actual activation. For some reason, we let you keep rolling whenever it's a tie or there's a special activation. There's really no reason for it. We just do it that way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. All right.
I
so this
think.
is
Do
one
we
for
need
the
a
Prussians.
12?
Yeah, we
to
need a 12.
move the
yeah.
clock. Okay,
Yeah.
I wanted to make
So
sure.
we were close, but not quite. All right. Well, let's see. I guess I do you have anything you want to move out in your part of the universe? Move some of that cavalry, artillery, move.
I'm
'Cause
good
we
for the
still
moment. If you got.
Okay.
Seem to have the degree of aggression that you'd really want in a Prussian general, does he?
I don't know.
Just feel like I need to say that. That's all.
All right, then I will activate who is it? Malchowski, who is here with Seidlitz's cavalry. And let's see what we can do with him. So all right, we'll move this regiment first, and so we'll turn them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then to go into 2 hexes costs 2, so 6, 7, like that. Okay, and then this guy is gonna turn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he'll spread out 6, 7 also. And this guy is going to go 1, 2, 3. Whoops, wrong guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He'll just go right there. And so, yeah, so they're all adjacent, so that works for them. And these other guys, 1, 2, and there, and 1, 2, 3. And they'll spread out there, and then he'll move here, and then everybody's in command. Exciting. Good, good, good. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. All right. I guess it's, I
Back
don't
to
know.
Michael.
Yep, Michael gets to throw the dice.
Won't get to do anything, but I'll get to throw the dice, so that feels like something.
Hey,
Oh, you moved
I
the
get to
clock.
move the
though.
clock.
You moved the clock.
Yeah.
That's what we call progress.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we got to activate something, or we can let the Russians do something. Do we want to move something? We got a lot of turn left to go, don't we?
we got a lot of turn.
Yeah, we got a lot of turn left to go. So, yeah, I think we kind of moved everything that immediately needed to be moved. So now at this point, it's not quite so critical that we have stuff shuffling about. What do you think?
Yeah. I'll take another one here. If you
Okay.
want.
Where do you want to go? More cavalry or?
Yeah, I'll do my other Bridal. And let's see. Okay. All right. And to wheel this guy like from here to here, how's that, 2 or 1?
I think it's 3.
3.
I think it's 3. But and I think we talked about this last time. And I'm gonna.
Yeah, can't
Okay.
you remember what we talked about a month ago, David? Come on.
But trying to be a nice guy here.
Formations, extension, contractions, probably page 19.
It is page 15. It is 9.4 multi-hex formation facing changes. 9.4b specifically. A multi-hex line changes faces by wheeling on one of its end hexes. The costs are calculated as follows. You pay the appropriate facing change cost. Of course, that's 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus 1 movement point for each hex entered by the line's end hex, the one that's actually
2.
moving, plus the MP law cost for any non-clear terrain hex entered and hex side crossed. Any terrain that triggers a disorder check applies because wheeling is a form of movement. And then what does it show? Then we have an example. It shows a 12 strength point cavalry stacking 3 hex line. Hex wheels 1 to the left. Assuming all the hexes are clear, the MP cost would be 3. 1 for the
Facing
hex point
change,
pivot,
yeah.
and 1 for each of the 2 hexes moved by the non-pivot end of the line.
Right. So
And then there would be extra costs if there was anything else. So yeah, it would be
Yeah, it'd be 2.
B2. Okay.
Yeah.
So, kind of. All right. So actually, let's do that, and let's do. Actually, let's just do that then. And I want to activate my or the artillery down here at the dear Wilkersdorf.
Okay.
All right. And just flip pin. Okay. All right.
All right. Cool, cool. I guess it's my turn to throw some dice. Here we go. Well, that's going to move the clock, and it's 1 for the Russians.
Oh
weird.
no.
Oh,
And
weird.
it's actually a wing, right? Because it's twice what.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
weird. I mean, I probably won't.
I'm throwing
Amount?
you a bone. I'm throwing you a bone.
It won't amount to anything because I'm pretty sure none of my wings are in a position where I could really use them. But
This is
But
when you
hey.
come rushing forward.
Well, I guess I do need to evaluate whether that's possible or not. Hmm. Well, not great. All right. Well, it's not immediately obvious which one I need to do first. So, all right, we got that going for us. Let's see. Who is that? That is India.
Where are you at? Which end of the line are you at? So I have.
No, I'm looking over on the Russian right. I'm just trying to decide if I actually want to do that or not. I mean, I don't think it matters. I'm waffling. Is basically what you're hearing here. And where are these guys? Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do, as soon as I find the leader, there he is. And if I do him, then I actually could do two of them at once. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I really can. Hey, weird. All right, so I'll go ahead and do a wing activation for Sal. Sal is right here.
Okay.
He can't activate everybody, but he can activate somebody. So he can activate these two knuckleheads, which would be pretty nice. And I guess he could activate P also if he wanted to. And I'm just trying to decide if I actually care. I mean, I guess I'd. Yeah, sure. What the hell? Let's just do them all. Let's just do it all. And then we'll need to activate all the artillery that's around with them, which means, whatever. And we'll activate the this commander here, and
Right.
it'll be great.
Yep.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
One, two,
Um,
6, 7,
just a question: is this guy allowed to be in 2 hexes?
Oh no, yeah, he should only be
Oh,
in
that's
one
weird. I
hex.
wonder why he is. No, you're right. No, he certainly can't. I'm kind of head scratching why he's in 2 hexes at all. Was he stacked with somebody else maybe, and so it made sense at the time? Don't know. That's a fair question.
Okay.
There's bound to be a good reason for it. I just don't know what it is. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. And charts.
What you looking at?
Charts.
Russian 12-pounders.
Charts. Russian 12-pounders. At 11 hex range, they're times 4?
That's what
no,
it
they're
says.
times 2. Oh, no, which one is that? Yeah. Yeah, times 4.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That is.
Okay. I'm curious. Trying to figure out what to make of that. Okay, so that means that each of them's firing at 8, or together they'd be firing at 16.
Mm-hmm.
So well, why don't we just go ahead and both take a shot at this guy?
Okay, so it's 16 to 10.
Right.
Okay.
So it's 1.5 to 1, and it's
and
plus.
I've got, what is it going to be, a plus 20?
That seems right. Yeah.
Because I technically have 16 increments there, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah. All right. So, So that's 1 to 1. 1.5 to 1 plus 20. All right. Boom. Oh.
So that is 3. So it doesn't do anything since I'm not stacked with infantry, right? Because I
No,
only
no.
lose half.
Yeah,
Or
it's
is
a
it?
it's a it's 3 step losses, and since you're you lose half, so you lose 1 increment.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
was wondering it. I'm like,
it
can
it
you
it
even do anything to me with that?
well, the only way that the way you got to 4 was because you were stacked, because I was stacked with infantry.
Right.
And then you alternate. So the infantry would take a hit, the artillery doesn't take a hit, the infantry takes another hit, and then the artillery takes their first hit
Oh,
effectively.
okay.
Right? But in your case, it's like, okay, the first hit doesn't count. The second one does, third one doesn't. So
Right. So
one
if your
hit.
guy hadn't been stacked with the infantry, the 2 hits would have scored 1 hit on the
That's
artillery.
right. But then of course there would have been no infantry casualties.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. So he takes a hit. Let's see if I can find a thing for him here. Increment loss, and then I make a morale check.
Nope. No, it's a
Oh.
93, so no morale
Oh,
check.
oh, okay. It's got to be. I'm so used to like you take a hit, you make a morale check. We've been
Yeah, that's
playing
funny.
regs, and I'm like, okay, every time you take a hit, you roll.
Oh yeah. How are you? How are you liking that?
Um, it's complicated.
And you don't have me there to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got other people there to explain it, but I'm just like,
No, I
oh, it kind of goes contrary to a lot of the other stuff that are in the other rule sets. So I'm just
exactly.
like, wait,
Yeah.
what's going on
Yeah,
exactly?
you gotta
So
unlearn all these things,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. This gun will fire here. It's I think it's 1 to 2 because I think he's ×3 at 6x range, firing at that guy.
Okay.
So 1 to 2, no size modifier.
Oh, that's a good roll.
That's going to be a hit, and that is going to be a morale check.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's roll. They shrug it off.
So far, so good.
We didn't need those 100 guys.
No, they were the deadwood, really.
That's right.
Yeah, don't need them. All right, very good. Very good. All right, then. So then we will go to movement. And this was you and Li and P.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So then movement, we'll start with these fellas here. Why in the world is he that way? That is crazy talk. All right. So he's going to move 1 and then 2, 3 to collapse into a single hex because there's no reason in the world for him to be spread out like that. And then 4. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we'll move those guys forward. And I guess those guys can't move forward just yet without shrinking into a single hex. So I guess they won't. All right. And then these guys are going to pivot and Oh, I am sure there's a better way to do that.
As far
Okay.
as how to place the
Yeah,
marker.
just the order of operations there's a little bit of a mess, but I
Right.
mean, we all know what I mean there, so we'll just call that good. Okay. And then uh, I think I think those guys are going to stay there. And let's see where everybody is. Sal is 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. So that's all good. And then where's. Okay, he hasn't moved. That's good. And doesn't need to move. Okay, all right. And then that means that Sal himself will move there. And I think that's really it. I don't think there's anything else I felt urgently needed to do.
All right. Sounds cool.
All right, so we'll flip a bunch of guys.
And I think that was my role. So we're over to you, David. Oh, that's another one for us. 41. Well, let's see. I guess I can finish moving some of Seydlitz's cavalry. And then some of these guns that are over here. So I'll activate these guys, and then who is this? Lentulus? Sounds like a Roman general.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like he's slow if I go back to the Latin root there.
Could be. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, well, we can take a shot here at that. So at a range of 10 with my 12 pounders, what am I at? Times 3. Okay, so that's going to be 12. So 12 to 10, that's a 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got 3 increments in that hex plus the 8, so you're at 11.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
it's plus 15?
Plus 10. If
It's
you were
plus
at
10.
12, it would be plus 15.
Oh, right.
So,
There's the cutoff.
yeah, so plus 10. Okay, so a 1-to-1 with a plus 10. Here we go. That's going to be 100. At 1-to-1 is 2 hits and a morale check with a plus 10.
Oh, and actually he's finished too, now that I think about it. Okay, let's see. So that's it. It's just the one loss. The
Correct.
second one just gets absorbed, and then we'll do the morale check. And the morale check is, that's actually an interesting question. I'm pretty sure the morale check is on the infantry.
Yeah, I mean, since they're the ones that took the loss, and I'm sure they pass with that.
Yeah.
2, okay, we'll mark them as finished, and then the guns will go 1, 2, 3, and these guys will go 1, 2, 3. All right, and then the rest of this cavalry. Let's go ahead and have them. We'll just move them forward a little bit. And turn them ever so slightly. Actually, wait. And we want to have them, we'll have them back here. I gotta get them lined up in the right spot. All right, so those guys could have enough space, and then he's all part of the same thing. So he'll go here, and then he will turn. And do I have any others that are part of that?
I
Nope.
think you need to roll for collisions or something and all that. That doesn't look healthy at all.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just 2 regiments that are all higgly-piggly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm trying to keep all the regiments lined up in the same direction, too, for what little it's worth. So, okay. That is it for me. So, I don't know whose die it is this time. Is it back over to you, David?
I think I rolled that one.
Oh, Michael rolled.
He did. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's my roll. So that's another one for y'all.
All right. Do you have anything to move, or do you want to give one to the Russians?
We can give anything to the Russians. We don't have to.
I can't hear you, David.
Yeah, you've gone very quiet.
Oh, sorry. Had my microphone over my head because.
That would
sorry
do it.
about that.
Apparently, your head is very good soundproofing.
Yeah. No, I trying not to cough into my microphone there. So.
Oh, we
I
appreciate
picked up
that.
picked up a little bug in while I was down there, but
Somebody didn't clean the mats.
it wasn't COVID though, at least. So
Oh, well, that's good.
yeah. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I'll give him one. Let's see. Yeah, let's make him make some decisions here.
Well, that's no fun. All right, then. Then we'll go ahead and do. Guess we'll do Lima Echo. He's here in the middle,
Okay.
and he is way a long way from being in command. So I will just roll for him, and he's almost certainly in command now.
Yeah.
If he wants to be, if he cares. All right. And his fellas are all in command. And so then let's do 1, 2, 3. And then let's see. Now this is a little bit convoluted. They'll just prolong.
Right.
They'll go 1, 2, 3. I mean, it all amounts to the same thing, but they're in the same hex together.
Okay.
That's 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's his whole outfit, unless I am much mistaken. And I guess the only other thing I'm going to do is just because I don't want to forget, I want to bring up something that came up on Consim World. I don't know. I don't think we talked about this. Well, no, in fact, I know we didn't talk about it last week. Well, maybe we talked about it last week. I mean, you and I'll go off on
We go
tangents.
on tangents. That is our.
Goodness
We
knows
should
I
just
will anyway.
we should just call it the Tangent Show
We
with
really
Michael
should.
and Eric. Yes.
We really should. So so there was a question on Consim World on the Bard thread,
Right.
and it was asking about line of sight.
Okay.
And I'm looking at all of them, and all of them look quite obviously perfectly okay.
Okay.
And I'm like, what's he thinking? And then eventually he explains himself after he gets a number of answers. And by a really strict reading of the rules, he had a point. And as it happens, it's in the same area of the board that I'm talking about. So move over to the west, over to the gully.
Right.
And so let's take a look at those Shuvalovs right there. And they're at level whatever level that is.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a key that tells me what level that is, but we all see what level that is, right? And we know that it's at the same level as this.
Yeah, based on the little dashes and dots.
The little Morse code there makes it pretty clear that it's the same level. And so what do we got? Well, we got between them, we've got a bunch of sharp slopes,
right?
Severe slopes and all that stuff. But we'd all agree that you could hit this guy because you're at the same level, and everything between us is below us and therefore meaningless.
Okay.
We'd also agree you could hit the guy if he was here.
Sure.
Or here.
Yeah.
Or here. Or here.
Right.
Or here. Well,
okay.
So the trick is that the where's the line of sight rule that he was quoting? And he wasn't wrong. It's just that the line of sight rule wasn't really thinking about it the way that you would think about it. Let me see if I can find the exact.
Is it in the scenarios or is it in the?
I don't think it was. I thought at first it was, but I don't think it was. When. Ooh.
Line of sight. So that's 12.6 on page 23.
12.6. Now it makes me wonder if there is a, if I look under the terrain here, is there something that talks about it there? Hex sides. Slopes will block line of sight unless the target is in a hex adjacent to the slope or the firing unit is on a higher elevation than the defender. And that makes sense, right?
Right. So is this? Are you reading that in the scenario thing, or is that
this
here?
is from the scenario rules. This is from 5.3a from the scenario rules.
I don't have those handy.
Slopes will block line of sight unless the target is in a hex adjacent to the slope. Okay, I mean that makes sense. Or the firing unit is on a higher elevation than the defender.
Okay.
So what's weird about that is the firing unit's at the same elevation as the defender, so the slope shouldn't mean anything at all. The slope's below. The slope isn't at the same level as the defender.
Right.
It just that doesn't actually make any sense.
Right, but based on a strict reading of the rules, if it says
it's like you could hit this guy because he's adjacent to the slope, but you couldn't hit that guy
Right.
And it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Of course you could. Because in fact, the slope is really not even in play because you're at the same level that this guy is.
Huh.
The slope's meaningless.
Right.
And Matthew came back and he was kind of like, yeah, actually, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, that is a line of sight. And, and I think he was talking about how the slope wasn't in play because the slope's actually below. The slope's not
Right.
even
Yeah.
meaningful.
Yeah.
If you're firing from below, then I would say, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You can't hit that guy, but you could hit that guy.
Right.
But I'm not below. I'm at the same level. So to me, that's a straight shot. There's nothing to it. And anything happening on any of these other hex sides are all completely meaningless.
Well,
All right.
I think where the issue is where is the quote unquote military crest, right?
Well,
that
and that's a
is it-
whole
yeah.
other issue.
Yeah.
Right.
So
because the
we've
prog
got-
rules specifically talk about a military crest.
Yeah.
These rules don't.
Yeah. And I mean, when we're looking at it, we see that these different elevations, and you're thinking that it's, it's like it's perfectly flat up here and it's perfectly flat up there, and it's only got this gulch in between, not realizing there's probably a natural curve up
Right.
and then down as we, and around here, it's going to rise up this way. And so, yeah. But unless you actually have something that demarks it, like here, you've got this,
Yeah,
this
there
little
you've got
thing
both
that you,
the
so
slope
yeah, I've
and
got
you've got
this,
the-
yeah, you got that little
and you've got
elevation
the
mark that
contour
lets you know.
line, right.
Exactly. But short of that,
So
yeah,
What
Yeah.
about what about firing on this hex?
yeah, that one's interesting because I would kind of really, I would say probably not. And again, I don't know that I can point to a rule, but just intuitively, they're under.
Yeah,
A
they're below the
slope.
slope.
right,
There's clearly an undulation that's
Yeah.
not enough to move you to a different contour line because you see the contour line goes around to the west,
right,
but it's clearly an undulation.
yeah,
And to me, it's like, okay, I'll buy for no problem at all that guy's obscured.
right,
But this guy over here, unless you've got the concept of a military crest, and I'm with you, Eric. And by
Right.
the way, it is explicitly called out in the prog rules that you imagine that there's a crest running, and he has some specific rules for you trace the exact line of sight and you count the number of hexes, and I mean it made sense.
right.
Right. Yeah, I vaguely remember that from the Prague game.
Yeah. Well, what's
but-
interesting is that the reason I bring it up is I got that game that Terry Doherty did, what is it, Glory and Empire first battles, and
Oh, you
so
got one of the pre-production.
yeah. Well, no, they
okay.
had they got a bunch of they got, I think, a crate of the
Oh, they air freighted.
air freighted, and they sent it out to some of the folks. So
Okay.
I did a unboxing video, and I've been messing
Okay.
around with it, playing it a little bit. But they specifically they'd have this, but then imagine that he basically draws a line right across here, and it's like that's the military crest. And
Oh,
so
that's
if you're behind the military crest, then you can't be seen, right?
Right.
But if you're on the military crest or you're on the other side of it, then you can be seen.
Right.
So he
Right.
actually draws on some of the hills where it's pretty clear what the fold of the land is.
Right. Right.
He's trying to be a little bit more explicit. So I thought that was kind of good.
Oh no, I think it's very good because if you think about it, one of the challenges you get into is what are these contour lines? I'm not even sure what how many feet each one of them represents.
Yeah, I think usually, at least from what I recall from maybe it was Prague, it's something like 10 feet difference from one to the next to the next. I mean, so that's not, it's not some big, huge undulation. It was either 10 or 15
Right.
feet. So
Right.
it's enough maybe if you're on the other side of it that they can't see you or you're back far enough away. Because remember, the guns are all shooting, for the most part, they're all shooting direct fire.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, so we
Yeah,
don't have
there's
any
gonna be
plunging fire or anything like that to
there's
speak
gonna
of.
be well, besides that, without somebody being able to do spotting for you, it wouldn't
Yeah.
do you any good to do plunging fire. You'd be guessing.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem right. Yeah, I know it says it. I've seen it say it somewhere, but I can't find it right now. But whatever. But but yeah, I mean, so these are probably not very steep hills. This is probably mostly pretty open terrain. Oh, here it is. Uh, oh, isn't that funny? It doesn't say. It just calls them levels 0 through 4.
Oh,
It
so it
doesn't
doesn't
say
actually
what the
stipulate
actual
what they are. Wow.
difference is. Isn't that funny? Um, I know specifically in the Fontenoy rules, he said, "Don't get wigged about
Right.
line of sight. This is incredibly flat, open. I
Right.
mean, this is Western Belgium, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
do not you would not stand there on this field and go, whoa, look at all the hills.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Anyway, so I think the long and the short of it is I want to shoot at this guy, and I think according to the letter of the law, I should be able to.
Yeah, I
So,
don't see a reason why you couldn't. You're at, I mean, it's at the extent of his range.
Yeah,
I should have moved him back one more, but yeah, you can take a shot at him, knock yourself out.
But he is uh, uh what is he? Yeah, he's times 4 at that
Yeah,
range.
yeah. So you
Yeah,
got 4 times
so
4,
it's
so it's 1.5 to 1.
1.5 to
And
1. So
I've got
yeah,
technically a plus 10. I've got 4 increments there times 2, so it's 1.5 to 1 plus 10. So
all right.
go crazy.
Uh,
48
see, after all that
is
talking, he rolls a 38.
not enough.
Yeah, that's
and it does say in the Zorndorf rules here that the line of sight in Zorndorf is quite forgiving since most of the terrain is open ground and quite flat.
Oh, it does say that. That's
And
good.
it does give an example of blocked line of sight would be from C3716 to C3216.
Uh-oh, now we got to find those two.
Since
Where?
there's a hill in the way.
Oh, well.
371.
So where is that? Is it over in the center of the map somewhere?
Well, it was the
What
C
were the
map,
numbers
so-
again? C map. So it's the central map. Is that the one with or
almost
without the tape?
3716 is right there. Is in the area.
3716. Okay.
And 3216, which is where's that? 3214.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a hill in the
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And so I guess the idea I'm taking from this is that they must be fairly small contour gradients.
Yeah.
And so the military crest is only a couple of feet above. So it's pretty flat, pretty open. And so,
Yeah.
you really, I mean, effectively, you can see across.
Yeah.
So, okay. And that's just less painful for everyone concerned. All right. And then I'm going to flip LE over and then it's somebody else's roll because I think I rolled that, didn't I?
Yep.
So it's you, Eric.
Okay, here we go. Oh, we're moving the mark there. 96.
Okay.
Okay, well that's one for us. I've got some little people we can push around out here.
Listen to the royalty talking there. I've got some little people I can push around.
Yeah, well we are.
Man.
This is not Napoleon's France here.
It may be the battles from the age of reason, but we are certainly not big democracy fans.
Exactly. The peasants are revolting.
Here. Indeed. So stay upwind of them.
Yes. So let's see here. Who do we want to move? We've got a couple of people over here that haven't. Do you have anybody you want to push around out there? I've just got some of this infantry in the back room that's pushing around.
Well, I probably should get the others moving here a little bit. So,
Okay.
um,
Get ready for a big attack. Oh, sorry. We weren't supposed to say that yet.
yeah,
Damn it.
Shh. It was a surprise.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Bulow there.
Bueller.
Bueller.
Bueller? No, Bulow.
Yes.
So,
We were just doing our best.
1,
Best impression.
2, 3, 4, and 4. All right.
All right. That was exciting.
Yep. I guess it's to my role now.
Yep. Ooh,
Another
another
move.
move pushing the clock down.
Yep.
Oy vey. All right. Done.
Okay. Well, that's one for us. Do you want to move some other guys or?
Yeah, I can. Let's
Okay.
see. I've got 2 other regiments over here, right?
You've got, I think, Braunschweig and then Gablenz.
All right. I'll do these artillery and Braunschweig.
Okay.
So let's see. One, 2, 3, 4, and here, and let's see. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Whose role is it now?
I think it's mine.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Oh, another
2
77.
77s in a row. All right.
The
Move the
vassal
clock
die
again.
roller strikes again.
Indeed. Coincidence? I don't think so. All right. So now, what are we going to do? Well, I've got some other people I can move around out here. So let's go ahead and do what? F. Yeah, we can move F, I guess. That's going to be Fleming. And we can move Konitz. Konitz is Fleming, Reuter, and Dietrich. Reuter's over here. Where's Reuter? He's over here. And Fleming's over here. And Dietrich's over here. Okay. All right. So, which way do we want to go? I'll move Manteuffel. We'll move him up here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so if we move the king here, then he'll be okay. Keep all of his people happy. Konitz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if we move him, if we move Connets here, he'll be fine. All right, so then Fleming. Okay, so what do we want to do? So we will move this guy 1. I'm going to turn him 2, 3, and that's it for him. And then this guy's going to consolidate. That's going to cost 2, 3, and 4. This guy's going to consolidate into 1 hex. That's going to be, is it 1 point? 2 points, maybe. And then he's going to convert into a line. So that's 3 and 4. And this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And Fleming's going to be here, and we will flip him. Oh, and while we're at it, I guess we'll move these dragoons that are here.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you want these? Do you need them on your side, David, or should we use them to back up our troops here? They're going to take a long time to get over to your side of the map.
Anywhere. I mean, I'd head them up up that way or whatever.
Up that way? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. We will put little finish markers on them because they're Finnish. All right. That was it for me. Time for me to roll some dice, see what we get. A 24. Well, that's still one for us, but it's a low number, so we'll let the Russians have it.
Oh dear! I just alarmed the cat. I shouldn't. I shouldn't exclaim with surprise for fear of troubling the poor cat. Okay, all right. Head's going back down now. All right, that's good. All right, one for the Russians. All right.
So, how many do you have left there, Eric? You got
I've
one?
got who is this guy? Dietrich hasn't moved
Okay.
yet. And that's it for me. I've moved my cavalry. I've moved my artillery. Oh, sorry. I didn't want to flip him. I wanted to put the finish marker on him. Yeah, I've kind of moved everybody that I have. So Dietrich's the only one left that hasn't moved on my side of the map. And you still have Geblenz, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we still have some artillery that hasn't moved. These guns here.
Artillery and my hussars have not moved yet.
Oh, your hussars, right? But they would have to move when we pick one of these commands, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They're an independent.
Yeah, if they're independent units, they got to go when somebody else goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we really only have 2 more commands to do here.
Yep.
Oh, now I gotta find a chart again. Darn those charts. I gotta find a chart because.
Are you looking for the movement chart or?
I was looking for the. Yeah, it was the maneuvering chart for these guys.
The maneuver chart. Basically, it costs them everything. It costs them everything to even think about turning their heads to the left or right, practically.
Pretty terrible. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and do Fast, who's part of the observation corps over here.
Okay.
He's the front row guy on the
There we go.
observation corps. And most of his command is out of command.
Okay.
So only these three that I just selected are actually in command,
Okay.
which is just, how it goes. And
Oh, because these guys are too far away.
yeah, they're too far
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Yeah, remember the whole thing about
Right.
that. So, so I'm just sitting here looking, and I'm going, 1, 2, 3 puts him like that because it costs him something to move across the creek.
It's the stream is +1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3 to move across the creek.
Yep.
And
Well,
then those
is-
guys.
Can he, or he's in line, can he do an oblique march?
That wasn't oblique.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
in this hex, and he just turned.
Oh, he's
one.
in that hex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he turned
he
one.
turned, moved.
Yeah.
That was it.
So yeah, it cost 1 for him to turn, and then 2 to move into that hex.
Exactly. Right. And then moving guns.
I don't know. I like the name of your guns. They are so much cooler than the ones that we have.
Yeah, what, unicorns? You like that?
Unicorns, Shuvarovs.
Yeah.
We just have 24 pounders, 12 pounders,
2,
7
3.
pounders.
Yeah, kind of dull, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. All right. Who's there? just the leader is there. All right. Well, then I'm gonna pop him under the leader, I guess. Boop. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just do that. And what's the Control N?
Yep.
Control N. Oh, okay, great.
Now the artillery were +2 over the stream.
Are they? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
All
Plus
right,
2 for
well then-
artillery. +2 for
right.
cavalry. Yeah, in line as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then that's what it would look like instead. All right. Good times. Pretty much good times. I guess I'll go ahead and. Oh, I probably should have done that before. That was pretty dumb. It would be really great if I was paying attention to what I was doing.
And you're not?
No, not remotely.
Michael just makes it up as he goes along.
Not remotely. So I'm going to go ahead and move these guys too. They're independent units, but
Right.
so that's half, and that would be 1.5, because it's a half for them to cross the stream in column.
Correct.
And that'd be 2.5. And 3. Boy, yeah, I really screwed this up. Whatever.
Well, so
All
what
right.
are you trying to do? Like
Oh,
you would have
I
moved
just-
them before you moved the artillery. Go ahead and move them as if they moved first. Because wasn't the
right.
artillery back here? in these hexes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just move the guy, and we'll just presume that you moved him first.
That's half. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 3.5.
Is that valid to be in 2 hexes like that? I guess it is.
It's
Okay.
in column.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in. Yeah, because I think they were in line in 2 hexes, and so when they went into
exactly.
March column, they were still in 2 hexes. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And I don't care what you say. It's very gracious of you, but I'm still going to roll.
08. I don't know what that is.
And,
This is a special something or other.
Special movement action 08. Russian. The ER is 26 or greater. Do a +10. Otherwise, just re-roll. And who is he?
Oh,
Okay.
it's more than 26. Yeah.
All right.
So he's what, disordered?
Yep.
Okay.
And then that means I need to roll for these guys too. And that's 04.
We're getting all the zeros out of the way. Reroll with double all the original pluses. ER modifiers, if any.
All right. Well, they're fine.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it.
All right.
All right. I think that was your roll. It was, so it's David's.
Okay. I thought it was mine too, yeah. 06. Ooh, exciting stuff. Let's see what that is. Special rally for the Russians. Pick a command and perform a free disorder recovery phase and rally phase. Well, you got somebody who's disordered.
Yeah, but I don't care about them. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the cavalry up here.
Oh,
Because
okay.
there's that one disordered unit that's part of that. I
Oh,
just
yeah. He's the one. Yeah, that should be fine because I think he was in the 30s.
Oh. All right, there we go. So back to you, David.
Okie doke.
98. Another big one moving the clock. All right. So 1, 2, 3. I guess 4 more big rolls and we're done. Well, let's see who's left. You've got one command. I got one command.
Why don't you take yours?
Okay, I will do that. I'm not going to do anything too terribly exciting. I'm just going to have these guys all kind of shift over. 1. And then this guy's going to turn. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy's going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then that's going to be it for him. Yeah, I needed to flip him over. Yeah, that's it for me. So that was David's big roll. It's over to Michael.
Back to you, Michael.
45. Let's go ahead and let the Russians have that one.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to let the Russians have it, are you?
We are. We're going to let you have it.
That's great.
We're very generous.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to go ahead and do M back here on the back row and vaguely in the middle.
Okay.
He's going to do disorder recovery on these guys. And then we're also going to move the combined grenadiers in front. We're going to move these guns too while we're at it. Are you trying to talk to everybody on YouTube?
Why do you ask?
Oh no, I was just the cat was sitting here meowing right next to me, and I
Oh.
don't know how well it picks up on my on my.
It
No,
didn't.
we didn't hear it at all. So
All right,
obviously, it has a meow buffer on your
it
mic.
has that is so good, so very very good. All right. We're going to go ahead and move here. 1, 2. Excuse me. What? 3, 4. Sure why that was so difficult.
It's the cat. The cat is a secret Prussian agent.
We cannot rule these things out. All right. And that is N, 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 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these fellas are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And,
All right, that's starting to look like a line.
well, for a minute. All right, Eric.
Here we go. Chuck some dice. 42. Well, why don't you go ahead and take it?
All right. I'm actually going to remember to do something that I had intended to do previously, but keep forgetting.
And that's to move your wagons.
Yeah.
I was going to remind you.
Yeah, that's kind of you.
I'm a giver.
Yeah. That's good. What was I doing with them?
They can move the whole of one hex. They can't cross any slopes.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to work through. I had a cunning plan. Okay.
Your retreat to Russia is what we're anticipating.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and activate S, who's right there by them anyway. So just so we're keeping it all figured out here. How about we do this? That's 1. That's 1. And then all 3 of these will just go 1 that way. Ah!
Almost.
That was not
There
what
we
I
go.
expected at all. Okay. And if I do this, he's in the middle of what do we call that?
It looks like a marsh.
Marsh? I think that's what we're calling. I'm trying to figure out exactly what that terrain is he's standing in.
Yeah, there is a marsh terrain that's on it's the third one down.
Yeah, and it looks like it's on both sides. The marking's pretty light in that hex, but I gotta believe that it was intended to be marsh. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something else. So, all right, fair enough. All right, well, we'll just go ahead and marsh on out of there. Oh, I slay me.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Tip your waitress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Well,
So we're gonna.
well, the example they give is this hex right there. So
I'm sorry. Which one?
that one right there.
Oh, yeah. No, that looks pretty good. I think just the hex it was in, because it had that contour line. I just think it had a couple other things going on, so it wasn't very well well highlighted. But there it was. All right, so they've turned 1. Looks like They've got a steep slope they're going up. Right
Slope.
here.
Yeah, that's a steep.
Pretty sure that's a
Yeah,
steep
so
slope.
it's
Yeah, it
+1
is.
for infantry to go up.
All right, so
And
that's
there's a
1,
little. It doesn't.
and then
It
that's
just blocks the line of sight, but it doesn't say anything else.
what?
It has a little. It's got the little sword mark next to it, so it doesn't look like it triggers a.
Oh no, it doesn't.
A
Yeah,
cross
you're
thing
right.
or whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, got it. All right. I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but all right. What else? Anybody else? No, probably not. All right.
All right, I rolled
Who's next?
the last one, so it's over to you, I think.
Now the one leaving the marsh is that there's no disorder check for that.
Oh, you know what? Actually, he probably does need to do a disorder check because he turned and
the
In the
then
marsh, yeah.
and
okay.
then left the marsh. If he had just turned, that would have been enough. But
Oof, I'm going to
but
guess
he's
that
only a -5, so probably not. Oh,
21. Okay,
damn.
those guys are good.
So it's -5, but it's +5 for the hex, so they're still disordered. Yeah, those guys are good, and yeah, don't close assault them because they're 11s.
Yeah, they will stand and take it.
Wow, that's nuts. Okay. Um. So whose roll was that?
That
I think
was
it's David's
that
roll,
was
isn't it?
no, yeah, it's David's roll because I rolled
David's roll.
the initiative.
Very good.
44. We're getting lots
Have
of
you just been
doubles.
so engrossed with the game, Eric, or is the audience quiet this week?
They're kind of quiet this week. We've got let's see, 6 people watching currently, and
Excellent.
Grim Harbinger is the only one who has piped up with anything. He said, "Yeah, no meow here," and then he writes,
No,
"I
yeah,
saw."
thank you.
He says, "I also saw they're doing La Bataille de Combe. Nice to see that the battle's not well known, getting some love." And I wrote, "Yes, I am interviewing the game designers for Combe this coming Tuesday." So
Great.
Lembit Tover is the gentleman who's designing or who has designed it for Against the Odds magazine. And so
Right.
he and I are going to have a chat. I guess it's 4 o'clock Pacific time and 7 o'clock East Coast time. He's in Canada. And so that's what's up with that. So I'll have a chance to chat with him a little bit about, you know, his the game design and everything else, and yeah, it should be cool.
That's great. That really is. It's kind of fun to get those designer interviews.
Yeah, I thought it would be nice, and I know, God, they've been trying to get this one published for 5 or 6 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was on the consim page for La Bataille, they were having people like vote. I don't know. Against the Odds magazine had a poll or something like that, and so they're like, "Hey, everyone, please vote for this." Whatever else. So they've been trying to get it sort of picked up for
Okay.
a while. So I don't know too much. I know that Van Damme, loses and is captured at Colm, but I don't know too much about the nuts and bolts of it. So I'll have a chance to kind of, tease that out with my discussion with Lembit. So, all right.
Okay.
So who all are you
2,
moving?
3, 4. I'm moving these the back line of the observation corps.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with them.
Moscow is calling.
Yeah. That's half. That's one. Just follow me on
Yep.
this. That's 1.5. That's 2.5. And they're just going to have to stop at 2.5.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so that's that.
All right. So David threw that big 44.
All right, and I will throw this
Oh, there's
really
another
big
one.
98.
Big 98.
All right.
We're getting closer to the end. The end is near. All
That's what I've
right.
heard.
Yeah,
go
Grim
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Do another one.
All right. I'm sorry, you were about to say something else, Grim Harbinger
Yeah,
said?
he says, yeah, Von Damme's core is pretty much smashed and captured, including himself. So
Well, what a bummer.
let's see, who have you got left? You got still a fair number of people that haven't moved.
Oh, yeah. I've got several that haven't moved. I'm
You
just trying
got
to figure out exactly.
this guy here and this guy over here. So you've got at least 2 that I can see.
And
And
that
that guy there,
there's
that's 3.
There's a third one up front.
Yeah.
That
And then you haven't
can't
moved your
see because
cavalry
there's-
out on the far end of the universe.
Yeah. That's not urgent. That's not urgent. This. I think I want to wait on those guys. I probably will do the cavalry now.
Okay. See, Grim Harbinger says he's trying to stop the Allied retreat from Dresden, but comes across troops that weren't in Dresden or weren't at Dresden. Yeah. And then he ends up getting sandwiched between the guys that were retreating and the guys he was fighting, as I recall. Ends up getting almost surrounded on 3 sides.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, it's what we call less than optimal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I keep doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should have been easier than I made it.
Well,
And then we'll
were
move
these
some
guys
Cossacks
in,
because
were
we
these
can.
guys in command? One,
Maybe
two,
they're not.
3, 4. So those guys would have been. I mean, everything else is pretty much the same, right?
I'm trying to figure out why they're all set up that way. It's actually a little
So
mysterious.
these
But you're
2
right.
look
Yeah.
like they would have been out of command.
1, 2, 3, 4. They would. Yeah, they would have been actually. That's a good point. All right.
I mean, were they at one point in time covering 2 hexes and you consolidated them? Is that what happened? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't recall. It's been a month. Remember? All right. Well, then we'll just we'll do this instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So here we'll do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should get them covered for next turn.
Okay, cool.
All right. Who's next?
Well, are you gonna? You said you were gonna do something with your Cossacks.
Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He's trying to pin us in so we can't escape.
Yep.
What the hell was that? It's weird. Apparently, if you hit B, it's about face, I guess.
Oh, Control B. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Hadn't had called to need it, but my finger hit the wrong place.
Well,
So yeah,
I
that's
think your challenge is because we were playing that ALAO game and all of our turn left, turn right buttons weren't working.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what a nightmare that was. That was really weird, David. It was they had selected that if you did control left arrow or control right arrow, which like makes total sense if you have a full-size keyboard and you've got a left and a right arrow, over there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The trouble is, even though I had a full keyboard, it wasn't working on my Apple keyboard.
Oh.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
it was working on
why?
my IBM keyboard. Yeah.
Right. And it's so weird because I'm just sitting there going, what would be different about a control left arrow? I mean, why would that be sending something different because it's an Apple keyboard instead of a
Well,
non-Apple keyboard? I'm like, really?
Isn't it command left arrow on an Apple?
No, I mean, I have to use control on this because this is not really a Mac native um, application. You're right. If this had really been written as a Mac application, then you'd be using the command key for all those things that other people use control
The
keys
control
for. But
yeah.
in this case, no, I use the control key all the time in this because that's what it's expecting. So
yeah, I will try to send there was that fella Matt who I think was tuning into either this or maybe he was turning into the Labatai game. But he either had helped with the creation of that module or he knew the guy that did. So I'm going to try to ping him on Facebook Messenger and say, hey, my friend had this issue with his Apple keyboard. He couldn't turn it using the control left right arrows.
Yeah.
So
which is totally weird, but I'm sure it's just it's got to be just some Apple thing.
Yeah.
And I know for sure, like part of it may be an interaction with some kind of baked in Apple keyboard shortcuts, because I'm pretty sure if I tried to do control with the up arrow, it definitely was clearly mapped to something else. I saw it behaving differently. I don't remember what it was doing. It was doing something weird. But the left and right arrows didn't appear to be doing anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. All right, we'll work it all out.
All right, that was your roll. You got anybody else you're going to move? Any of your other little Cossacks, or are they happy where they're at?
I think they're all right where they are.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right. We'll go ahead
they're all-
and roll the dice. 43. Go ahead and take one.
All right. All right, there we go. And oh wow. Who else gonna go? He hasn't gone yet. I'm not really sure if he's gonna do much. I'll go ahead and activate L. He's over here on the far
Yep.
west of the board.
He looks like a brilliant commander.
Um, and don't think I need to do anything really dramatic with him, but I am gonna combine those guys up because it's just silly the way they're all in 2-hex formation.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right. That
David?
was my roll. It's
All
over to you,
right.
David.
Boom.
Oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Just in time. Army leader lapse for the Russians.
Oh. Okay, well, I mean, that's not the end of the world. It's the end of the turn, so it doesn't matter. All right, so the only difference is that it's, has the king moved?
Nope. The king is not moved.
Nope. King is
All right,
not
so
moved.
so then the difference is 5, so just
Yeah.
go ahead and roll again.
All right. Boom.
So that's another one for us, but we want to give it to the Russians, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right, then you shall.
Yeah.
So we'll do Kilo here in the middle, more or
Sure.
less.
Yep.
And probably need to roll for him, although I don't think it matters because I don't know that I'm going to do anything creative, but he puts himself in command anyway, so that's nice. And so we're gonna one, two, three, four. Two, three, four with those guys as well. Then they're finished, and he's finished, and that's that. I think it's my roll.
Yep. Nope. Another big roll.
All right, that's
We're nearly
yours.
at the end. Yep. We want to take our last one. I mean,
Well, we're
otherwise,
gonna-
what? I think the Russians have only got one left.
Yeah, let him take his last
Yeah,
one.
go ahead. We'll get the first word and the last word in, I guess.
All right. Two, three, four, and go ahead and move these guys just because we can. And
Do you want to? Is that your last one?
um,
Yeah, I think that's his last one. I don't see anybody else.
All right. So if he wants to move his.
as army commander. And
let's take a look. Oh, it's going to be really hard to tell. Let's see. He is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I think maybe what I'll do, this is going to be entertaining. Leaders. I'm looking for a leader.
clear is half. Marsh is
Yeah, but
one.
it's not nearly half, right? So that's half. That's 1.5. That's 2. That's 2.5. That's 3.5. That's 4. 5. 5.5. All right. So now he's over there. Okay.
Exciting.
Flip him over. And otherwise, I think we're all good.
All right.
So,
And then this guy is done. Do you need to flip him
oh
too?
yeah,
Or,
yeah, sure.
All right.
All right, and then your roll, Eric.
Here we go. Well, we ended it with a whimper. Came in with a roar, ended with a whimper.
And I thought you said a wimble. I thought that was confusing.
That too, a whimper,
All
a
right.
whipple. All right,
Who's going?
that
So
would be
where
David's
do you
got the
need?
last one.
Yep. And where do you need now? Where you need to move? Are you going to be moving Frederick
We can
here?
move the king. So,
Where would you like the king?
so I've got Konitz and Manteuffel need to be within 8 of him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if he's there, Konitz will be in command, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Manteuffel will be. So 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right here should be fine.
All right. So
for Friedrich.
All right. And all right. So that means okay. So I'll be going there with what's his name? Dona.
Dona. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 2,
Yeah.
4, 6, 8. Okay.
1, 2, 5. Then this guy, he's going to be here, and these are going to go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. And did you need to move your cavalry commander or who's this guy? Moritz? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, everyone's in
Right
command,
now,
I guess. But
yeah, I'm going to keep it the way it is right now. Everybody's in command. They're pretty good.
do you need to move these hussars, or they're happy where they're at?
They're happy right now.
Okay. Do you want to move these guns?
Oh, yes. I
Yeah.
do want to move those guns. Let's see a little bit here. What do we got sitting up there? 3. And let's go there. All right.
Okay.
I think that does
We
it.
don't have anybody shaken or routed yet, right?
Correct.
Well, then there's no reason for a rally phase.
Nope.
So if there's no reason for a rally phase, then we can just hit the end turn marker.
Sounds about right.
Boom.
Everything is magically
And
restored.
then we'll move that here and that there. And we're now at the start of 10:20. And we can click save.
Cool. All
Oh
right.
dear. Oh, that is. I did something horrendously wrong there. Okay.
What, with a module or just when you were trying to save?
No, I need to go in and I put a folder inside of a folder that I did not mean to, and so now I'm like, it's a good thing I know that, because if I was ever looking for it, I'd probably lose my mind.
Okay. Hey, well, that wasn't bad. In the space of 2.5 hours, we got through.
No, we did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did pretty well, and I expect that probably, well, maybe not next turn, but certainly the turn after, then I think the fur is really going to start flying.
In all likelihood, yes, we will start to close to death and destruction distance.
I think so. I mean, more than just the kind of pot shots that we've been doing.
Yeah.
So that'll be more entertainment for our vast audience.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've got
That's what it's all
about 4 people watching right now, so we will say farewell to all of our fine friends out there. Catch us next Sunday, right? And that's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, isn't it? Yeah, that'll be the 24th. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
So I'll be around. Are you guys traveling anywhere for the holiday, or?
Let me check the calendar. Thank you for the reminder there. Because no, I'm not going to be doing a lot of traveling. I'm just thinking. I'm sorry. So we're talking about, it'll be the
24th.
24th.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we're actually doing early Thanksgiving dinner / father-in-law birthday that day, but I gotta believe we'll be home by then, because I think it's going to be middle of the day. So I don't anticipate that being a problem, because Central Time, it's 8:00 before we start.
Yeah.
And I don't believe for a minute we'll still be there. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I should be fine. I don't have another big fencing tournament until the 8th of December. And then I've got another one, but I think that, then I've got another one, I think, on the 15th. On that one, I know I won't be back in time. It's up in Bakersfield. But the one that's on the 8th, I should be available, but I might be running late like I did the other week. So I'll try to text you guys at least an hour or two in advance or just plan on maybe starting an hour later. Let's see. We have Jason Henke says, I'm looking forward to the interview. I've been lurking tonight, that is, just sort of watching you guys and listening as a game myself. Just wanted to say hi, everybody. Thanks for streaming. Well, thank you for watching.
Indeed. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I will wrap things up. Everything is saved, and we will see everybody out in the YouTube universe tomorrow at Moscow, and then Tuesday with the interview with Lembit for La Bataille de Colm, and then next Sunday for another exciting adventure here at Zorndorf, potentially.
Indeed. Maybe even more exciting.
More exciting. I don't know. Any more than that. My God.